Welcome to the Football Parliament podcast, your one stop destination for all your football debates, discussions, and opinions. Rishabh here is a Manchester City fan. He'll give his opinions as a rival. And here we have today, our guest for today is Prajwal Kamath, who is a Manchester United supporter. He's a bit pumped up because Manchester United have a chance of winning a trophy after 4 years. And just before we go to our topic, I'd just like to give a big thank you. And Rishabh, yesterday we hit 10,000 views on this channel in total.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy feat, assuming, considering the fact that we just started this in 2021. The
Yeah,
project and everybody coming on board like later on. It's a very good thing. Hitting 10,000 views isn't that easy, considering there are multiple football channels that exist outside, and it's just a slow build up for our channel.
plus promoting football channels are, it's too tough because not everyone watches football like us. So it's tough to
Yeah.
gain viewership. Anyways, we start with our topic. It's Manchester United versus Villareal tomorrow. First, before I'll go to Rishabh, I'll to Prajwal. What are your views?
So for Manchester United, it's been a while since we've won a trophy. So it's definitely the pressures on Oli and the players to like win a trophy after like about four and a half years now. Because the last time we won the Europa League under Jose Mourinho, and it's been a really long time. Basically, what this trophy it'll be basically the perfect ending to a season because it's been a really good season. Because we hadn't had a very extremely good transfer window. Yet it'll basically be a trophy to show that we can progress, and it'll be like a chance to get back where we were. It'll do a lot of good to basically sum up what we have because now till now Oli has been here for like third season now, and like
Yeah.
he's made progress, but he hasn't got a trophy to show it. But if he wins the
Hmm.
Europa League, it'll be basically like, look, I've done something, and like I know I can do this. I'm not a PT teacher.
Yeah, exactly. If he wins the Europa League, there's a great chance that rival fans won't call him a PT teacher anymore. In my opinion, he's not a PT teacher, anyways. Rishabh,
Yeah.
what do you think about this game?
I actually do agree with Prajwal. I think this game is a proving point for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ever since the January 2020 transfer window, I think Solskjaer has transformed Man United. I wouldn't say Bruno Fernandes is the only player to have transformed. I think Solskjaer in his tactics himself, he's evolved very well. Arguably, this season in the Premier League hasn't been the best. Apart from the fact that they haven't lost a single away game, which is a good achievement. But I don't know. I think Ole. I think now he's got the tactics under his inside the palm of his hands. I think he knows what kind of formations he needs to play, what players he needs on the pitch for where and when. And I think this should be an easy win for Man United. I really hope Man United do win this.
Just adding to that, although like and the opposition here will basically prove his point even further because Unai Emery he has like got a history in this competition. He's won it 3 times,
Yeah.
and it'll show that he's actually a very good manager, which he is, and everyone knows that, but somehow doesn't like accept it because of his history
He
as a
doesn't
player.
get the credit because, even at PSG or even at Arsenal, he didn't get the players he actually wanted. I mean, defensively speaking, Arsenal were poor
Exactly.
defensively, and even under Unai Emery, PSG weren't that strong defensively speaking. Although they had Thiago Silva, but they weren't that strong. Anyways, coming to Unai Emery's team first, Villarreal don't have much of a history. 25 years ago, they were promoted to La Liga first. I mean, La Liga Santander, which is, and they have had a great journey. I don't exactly know, but I think Villarreal made it to the Champions League. They crossed the group stages somewhere, or if I'm not wrong. Coming to the tactics of Villarreal, I feel that they will play a 4-4-2 with Miguel Trigueros, Chukwueze, who's available for the game now because he's been training now. Uh, they will field a 4-4-2. Gerard Moreno should be the player to watch, along with Pau Torres at centre back. If you need a flashback, I'll just tell you that Villarreal almost did win the game against Real Madrid and Barcelona twice this season. They almost did, but somehow Barcelona and Madrid's winning mentality came in, and they somehow just got the results. Tactically speaking, they they have a smart occupation of spaces, tendency to find the superiority in the final thirds of the game through sending many men forward and solid shape, which they maintain. In possession, they'll ask questions, shying away from little and intend to overcome the task of facing our defenders, like Manchester United defenders. And there will be a uh, sheer directness and rapidity and a dynamic movement in the midfield from Villarreal. What do you expect from Manchester United as well?
See, Manchester United, I expect them to be on the front foot this time because what we've seen in a lot of La Liga sides, like even Atletico Madrid, even Villarreal, they can basically they can defend in packs. They are going to defend a lot in this game.
Hmm.
But what Manchester United needs to be careful about is the counter, because one good advantage which we have with Eric Bailly and probably Victor Lindelof or either of Axel Tuanzebe is that they are quick. They are quicker than Maguire. So I expect them to be much more on the front foot this time. And we've shown basically against Wolves that we can play a certain type of football. We can play possession football, but it was a different set of players. Now what we have to see is whether Oli and his staff can basically make them play the same kind of football. Probably not play Scott McTominay and Fred all together this time. Although he's relied on them all throughout the season, I feel they should play uh, either a Fred or Scott McTominay, and they should play Pogba with Bruno instead of Scott McFred again. So I feel that they should be on the front foot, and the only and for me, they have to start in goal because of course Maguire is not there, so you of course need some experience and winning mentality. So I feel they should be extremely on the front foot, and I feel that it's going to be they'll have to play the best football to beat Villarreal this time.
Yeah, I'm with Prajwal on this. For me, I think where Man United does lack a lot is in its holding midfielders. We've seen Ole play McTominay and Fred together when they haven't been the best of combinations. So I think, and plus the midfield, of Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba, they can actually supply the attack. The likes of Cavani, Rashford, Greenwood, Martial, for that matter, if he ever makes an appearance today, that is. Um, and Prajwal is right. On the counter attack, Man United are absolutely defenseless. On the counter attack, we've seen in games early on in the season, rather than the latter half, where Man United just haven't been able to, rather defend those counter attacks is what I would say. So, as long as Pogba and Fernandes are on the midfield, I feel like only one holding midfielder there is required, and I think that should be someone with the likes of McTominay over Fred. No matter Fred's work rate, I still think McTominay is a very underrated center midfielder, defensive midfielder for that matter. But where Man United also have to look at is Villarreal's midfield, which consists of Danny Parejo, who is who creates space like no other person in La Liga. He's amongst the people like Toni Kroos. And I really feel like Man United really have to make sure that they can properly box him in the way they boxed in Kevin De Bruyne in the first leg of the Premier League for us. So if Man United have that in their hand, then it should be an easy game for them. It should be an easy game. What do you think?
See, but that's the thing about Manchester United, that they don't have a actual central defensive holding midfielder. The thing with Scott McTominay is that I think he's a box-to-box midfielder, which is that he's really very good in transitions from defense to attack. Prajwal will agree to this. I think that's what his key role is, and he doesn't actually fit as a CDM. If you're going for a 4-2-3-1 with a double pivot behind, then it's fine if you're deploying him at CDM, because then he'll be available for those transitions. But if you're going with Fernandes, Pogba, and you need someone at the back, I don't know who's gonna be there.
So what I feel was like the only problem with our central defensive midfielders are like the only real central defensive midfielder who's played there throughout is Nemanja Matic, and he's really good at it. But now the thing is he's old and he hasn't got the legs. And I agree with Vedant that Scott McTominay is originally a box-to-box midfielder, because even Jose Mourinho had said that he was grooming him to become a box-to-box midfielder. But then Oli came in and it all changed. So that's what I
Prajwal,
feel. Okay, even go on, go.
no, please finish. Please finish. Yes.
No, I was anyways.
Right. So no, I had a question for you, and that's apart from Fernandes being one of the main people who can decide a match for Man United, if not him, then who do you think would be a match decider?
I think Edison Cavani, no doubt about it. Because even in the like he's got the experience of a winning side. He's been with PSG, he's been with Napoli. He knows he knows how to do stuff, and he's really experienced, and he's a clinical finisher. So even though if we go with someone else or like may not provide as many chances, he's really clinical. He's not like probably an Anthony Martial who needs some time to like warm up.
Hmm.
But I think Edison Cavani will make the difference if not Bruno Fernandes.
Okay. With this thought in
I
mind,
mean, before we move on, I'd just like to pinpoint a fact about Manchester United is that if a team is strong, rock solid when it comes to defending, Manchester United struggle to break through. Even for teams like Real Madrid, it's too tough to break through if a team is rock solid. And if you look at Villarreal, they are rock solid. Look at the names of Raul Albiol. He's an ex-Real Madrid player. Pau Torres, who is linked to Manchester United. And in my opinion, yeah, he's too good. In my opinion, he's the best defender in La Liga this season, Pau Torres. And Real Madrid, please buy him somehow. I just want him to see him at Madrid.
You guys
They
want
have,
everyone.
I swear to God, Pedraza is there at left back. So, and even the keeper, Sergio Asenjo, he's very good as a goalkeeper. I think he's top 3 in La Liga. No, sorry, top 4. Ter Stegen, Oblak, and Courtois, obvious. But after that, Sergio Asenjo is the name which comes in my mind when I talk about top La Liga goalkeepers. So they're strong defensively. So how do you think Prajwal Manchester United will counter that?
Exactly why I said that they should not go with McFred, because McFred can't actually provide you with creativity. They'll probably be solid at the back, but they won't. And we in this game we need to go forward. So I think if there is anyone who can do that, that is Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba, because you want Juan Mata used to do it along at Chelsea. He used to do it at Manchester United early on, but he's old. But now you've got Bruno Fernandes, you've got players like Donny van de Beek, who is a doubt for this match, but like you've got players like Paul Pogba, who's world class, who can pick a pass and he can like supply the forward line.
Yeah, but then
And you
again,
need to be and then your wingers need to be quick as well, because although that's not a problem for Manchester United. You need to
Because
be able to
Greenwood
stretch
and
that
Rashford
defense.
are really very good.
Yeah.
yeah, but to back up Vedant on this is that Villarreal defensively, I feel Villarreal are more defensive than they are attacking. From the highlights and from a match or two that I've seen in La Liga, Villarreal is extremely defensive, and if they
No, I
can
don't.
box in Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba, I think Man United will be rendered completely useless.
See,
Is what
Villarreal
I
aren't actually the defensive team which we talk about. If you look at their attack, Carlos Bacca scored a hat-trick against Sevilla, if I'm not wrong. Gerard Moreno is really very good. 30 goal plus assists in La Liga in this season. He's really very good. I've seen him. Then they have got Paco Alcacer available as their super sub. So even if you talk about their attack, they're attackingly also solid. But their key role is their midfield and their wide midfield. They've got Trigueros, Chikwueze, and a lot of players there. So actually, their key is their midfield. And the thing with Villarreal, which I see, is that when they attack, most of their men are attacking, and when they're defending, most of their men are deep down. That's the thing about Villarreal.
So it's like defending in packs, right? It's like like night at Stoke City.
Exactly, because recently I saw the game against Real Madrid versus Villarreal. Villarreal didn't feel their best 11, but they were just too tough to break down. Modric came to the rescue in the 90th minute and scored somehow. So let's see what happens. Anyways, moving on. Rishabh, who do you think will be the defense for Manchester United?
So before we move on, to discussing the defense, I think with that point in mind, we should move on with the combined 11 for
Yeah, we can.
Villarreal and Man United. For goalkeeper, I think for me it has to be David De Gea. I think David De Gea is absolutely rock solid in the goalkeeping position. He's not had the best couple of years, but I would rely on him more than I would rely on Sergio Asenjo. What do you think, Vedant?
See, David De Gea didn't have the best of his seasons. There were quite ups and downs, but of lately he's been world class. But I'll stick with Sergio Sancho mainly because he's played 40 games this season and he has been absolute key for Villarreal when it comes to defending. So also considering he's a La Liga goalkeeper, so I'll actually stick to Sergio Sancho.
So, Prajwal, I'm assuming you'll be going with David De Gea.
Yeah, I'm going with David De Gea because Dean Anderson's too young to start a final, and even though he's been performing, but David De Gea recently has been world class. And plus, when you don't have the likes of Harry Maguire, you always need someone who you know who's been there, he's done that. So to like ensure like there is some tranquility in defense, I think David De Gea should start.
So moving on to the right back position, Vedant, why don't you start us off? Do you think Aaron Wan-Bissaka deserves a spot over on Villarreal?
Aaron
player, or is it-
Wan-Bissaka, definitely Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Although their captain is a right back, Mario Gaspar, but Aaron Wan-Bissaka, when it comes to 1v1s, there's no way you can go past him. So I'll actually stick to Aaron Wan-Bissaka here.
Yeah, I think this is a proper combination. I think all of us can agree on Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah.
Moving on to the midfield pairing, I'd personally like to start off with Victor Lindelof and Pau Torres. I think Pau Torres has been absolutely phenomenal this season. I've seen clips of Pau Torres defending against really good teams. Unfortunately, Villarreal have lost those few matches, but defensive wise, he looks like the man you can rely on. What do you think, Pajwal?
I think Pau Torres should start with Axel Tuanzebe because even though like Victor Lindelof has been there for a while and he's played a lot more, but Axel Tuanzebe when he's at his best he's unbeatable. We saw that against PSG the way he handled Mbappe. So I think Axel Tuanzebe and again Pau Torres is world class. He's been linked to Man United as well. So I think
And
Axel
Real Madrid.
Tuanzebe and Pau Torres.
What do you?
No,
Vedant,
I'll
who are
actually
your
stick with
centre-back pairing?
I'll actually stick with Pau Torres, and my second centre back should be Raul Albiol. He's a leader for Villarreal and for Spain. I mean, if you look at recent games for Spain, uh, Raul Albiol has been there, and Raul Albiol has been key for mentoring Pau Torres. So I'll actually go for Raul Albiol because Manchester United's
So
defenders aren't actually that reliable when it comes to Lindelof. Maguire
in
has
this,
been very good, but Maguire has been out.
no,
So
that's
I'll
where
go for
I
Pau
would
Torres.
disagree
And
with you, Vedant. Victor Lindelof in the past season, he hasn't been dribbled
He's
by
been good.
once. This season, he's been
but that's
absolutely
about the
phenomenal
past season,
defensive
right?
wise. This season, he's
That's
been
about the
absolutely
past season.
phenomenal as well. It's just unfortunate that he's benched every other time so that Tuanzebe, Bailly, Maguire can play. But Victor Lindelof,
But
I feel he's the
if you
man you can
see like
rely on.
Ollie's main pairing is with Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. So what are you talking
No,
about?
but
Because
the thing about Raul Albiol is that he's played 45 games this season, and there is only one guy who's dribbled past him. That's Messi. Apart from that, no one has dribbled past him in La Liga or Europa League. So what do you think about that? Plus, he's pretty much in his prime, if you notice.
Then, okay,
so
so
is
it
If
appears
this
Victor
you
was
Lindelof.
last
guys.
season, if this was last season, I wouldn't have debated, and Victor Lindelof would have got that spot. But I don't think he deserves the spot this time.
Okay, I think I'll back Vedant on this. I think
So
Raul Albiol.
we are in a situation in which we are actual to answer Victor Lindelof and Raul.
Yeah, but I think I'll side with Vedant. I think for
Yeah,
Messi to only
yeah,
dribble past you, I think that left back.
yeah.
I don't
Stands
think this is an argument anymore. I think it's Luke
Luke
Shaw.
Shaw,
Luke
Luke
Shaw,
Shaw,
Luke Shaw, Luke Shaw. There's no debate here. Pedraza isn't even that great, to be honest.
Okay, so moving on to our center midfielder pairing. Prajwal, why don't you give us your pairing first?
I think for me, Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes are definitely in the pairing. The only thing I'm conflicted about is the central defensive midfielder because Nemanja Matic is old and Villareal I'm not really sure of how they line up because I haven't seen a lot of their matches. So I think for me, Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes start. You can like go on with the central
Who's the third
defensive.
midfielder for you?
For me, like I'm not really
You can go
sure
for a
with
holding
the
midfielder if you'd like as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be a flat midfielder as well.
exactly, but like for me, like with the limited knowledge I have, I'll probably go for someone like Scott McTominay because I really don't know about Villarreal's
That is
midfield.
Vedant?
See, Bruno Fernandes definitely gets a spot. We don't even need to talk about that. So we'll just give Bruno Fernandes a spot. About Paul Pogba, he didn't have a great start of the season, but he has found his form of lately. So I'll actually give Paul Pogba also one spot. Um, the thing is that we'll miss out Danny Parejo here, but we have to stick with a holding midfielder, and I'll actually stick to Eric Capu, who's a Villarreal player, and he's a central defensive midfielder, so we can stick to him.
Vedant, would you be so my centre back pairing would be Fernandes as a centre midfielder, Pogba as the holding midfielder, and Danny Parejo on the other side. Vedant, do you think you would agree with Danny Parejo having a spot in this?
Danny Parejo truly deserves a spot because Valencia have clearly missed him this season. Valencia are 13th or 14th, and they've clearly missed their captain. He was, thrown out of the club and he was crying and stuff, and Villarreal took him. So I'll go for Paul Pogba at holding midfielder, but I'm not sure if he's actually a holding midfielder. Prajwal can give us.
Paul
Yeah,
Pogba
but
and
like
holding.
Paul Pogba isn't that good at holding midfielder. Like, he clearly
From what
cannot
I've
defend.
seen, at least from what I've seen, he's been decent. He might not be that good
How about we
defensive-wise.
shift?
But
How
then,
about
but
we
then,
shift
but
to
then
a
you, but then
4-4-2?
you might as
How
well
about we
put
shift to 4-4-2?
then you might as well put in a Nemanja Matic.
I think no, but then I think a standard 4-3-3 is what everybody goes for. So,
Yeah, but here we are having a dispute over who should start, right? So that's the
But that's
debate.
gonna go on to the forwards also.
so Prajwal, your midfield pairing is Fernandes, Pogba, and
I'll go for Nemanja Matic.
Nemanja Matic. Vedant, you would go for Fernandes,
But
Pogba, and
Matic in the
Fernandes, Pogba,
holding
and
midfield.
Capu. Fernandes, Pogba, and Capu.
Prajwal, would you be willing to start Fred over Nemanja Matic by any chance?
Dude, by sheer quality, Nemanja Matic is
For some reason,
Fred is
Manchester
so low.
United fans just hate Fred. I just don't understand why. I was seeing the game against
Oh,
Spurs
he's-
and
Fred,
Fred was
I've
absolutely.
got nothing against Fred. Fred has been absolutely immense for us this season. But like the only reason if I would pick Fred over Nemanja Matic is because he's younger and he's able to put in the whole 90 minutes.
Okay, I think I'll go with
We're not
Prajwal.
having Nemanja Matic here. Come on, Rishabh. We are not having Nemanja Matic here. Come on.
Dude, he's definitely.
So I made the case for
no.
Pogba as a midfielder and
We can put
Parejo.
Danny Parejo at
If you're
CDM
putting
if you want.
Pogba as a holding midfielder, you might as well put Nemanja Matic in there.
We'll just put Parejo as the CDM, or we actually won't go for a CDM. We'll just go for a 4-3-3.
You just go for a attack.
Alright, fine. Attacking favor, then who would you go for?
So put Fernandes in the center and Parejo at left central.
Parejo, yeah. That's good for everyone.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, so moving on to the front three, I'll kick it off. I think Marcus Rashford should start on the left. I think Edinson Cavani more than deserves a spot as the striker. My right wing, I cannot decide between Mason Greenwood and Gerard Moreno. Gerard Moreno is a purebred striker, but I've seen him play sometimes as a right mid and a wide player, and he's been absolutely phenomenal from there. So I think I would go with Gerard Moreno for that one. Vedant, what do you think?
I actually kind of agree with you, but the thing is, no, actually, I'll stick with you. Yeah, Marcus Rashford at left wing, Cavani at striker, and Gerard Moreno at right wing. Because his prime position was a right winger, but now under Emery, he's switched to a right forward or striker.
Prajwal, what do you think?
Even I agree with you because like Mason Greenwood, even though he's showing promising signs, but I think it's still too early for him who will actually start in the Europa League final. I think Gerard Moreno, he's done more than enough to deserve a spot here. And plus, it doesn't necessarily have to be in a 4-4-3 in which like they have to stick to their own positions. They can always interchange in the middle of the match. So that's always going to happen. So I think Gerard Moreno and Edinson Cavani to an extent can play on the wing. He's shown that.
So this is the team that we want. Are we happy with this entire team?
Not exactly, but
just the fact that there's no holding midfielder.
So before we end this video, I'd like to ask for your score predictions. Prajwal, since you're a Man United fan, I know you'd be leaning towards Man United. So what do you think the score is going to be?
I think it's going to be a really tight match. I don't think it's going to be extremely high scoring also. So I think I'll go 2-1 to United.
Okay. Vedant, what about you?
I'll actually stick with my La Liga bias and I actually want a Villarreal win. The score could be 2-0.
I don't want to side with Prajwal. I don't want to side with Prajwal.
Come on, man.
But I think,
Dude, really?
no.
Just look at
I'm
Manchester
backing you
United
up.
in finals. Just look at Manchester United in finals.
It's
Yeah,
not even
that's
about
more than
finals,
enough to
Vedant.
convince you.
I think I know this. It's going to be 1-0 to United and it's going to be a Fernandes penalty. It's going to be
Oh God.
I know it's going to be
The
a
agenda we
Fernandes
have
penalty.
against United and penalties.
I
Anyways,
hate Manchester
Guys, I lost
United
you for a second. Can you
completely.
like
Yeah,
come
so
back?
I said a 1-0 to United from a Fernandes penalty.
well, respect to
I
Rishabh,
hate
he
Man
actually
United.
kept his
I
Chalo,
balance
hate
theek
Man
hai,
aside. He
chalo.
United.
kept his balance aside.
I'll accept that. As long
Yeah.
as we win it, it's
Anyways,
okay.
yeah. Anyways, that's the
But
video for today.
the thing
Make
is,
sure
on
to
the
Prajwal. This is the video for today, guys. Manchester United versus Villareal UEL preview and our combined 11. That's the video for today. Make sure to check us out on Spotify. Make sure to check us out on Apple Podcasts. We'll see you tomorrow. That's the video for today. Peace.